Alright, this is a 2013 Ford Taurus Police Interceptor. Should be same for the original Tauruses as well. Not 100% sure, but I mean, when you're just dealing with the front end, I believe it's the same. But the issue we're having here is when we going over bumps or a dirt road or any holes, it sounds real clunky and, you know, clanky and clunky, and sound like something's rattling in the front end. Kind of resembles like your shock or your strut going out. First thing you need to check is your tire. A lot of people forget this simple little step. When you check your tire, put this down there. First thing, when you pull your tire off, you want to check it for any obvious wear. And when I mean wear, you could kind of look and compare side to side. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see like a slight bald spot going straight right there compared to this side. That means it's favoring, so it's kind of sitting toe in and like that when it's driving. So that's telling you right there you got something going on. This should be, normal wear should be right dead in the middle of this tire. That's number one. Number two, after you done took your tire off and inspected it, you need to come back over here. You need to check it out. Alright, first thing you need to check for is torn boots, any rubber. So, you got your tie rod in right here. Let me see if I can put this up so we can see here. It has some light. Alright, so you got your tie rod in. This connects to your rack and pinion, and this is pretty much your steering. This goes in and out. I mean, this is stationary, but this is what turns your tire this way and this way, pretty much. It's connected to your rack and pinion. On the inside of this boot, you got an inner tie rod in. It's a little ball joint in there as well. When you do, this here is your, I'm telling you, I need to invest in a little headlamp. This is your sway bar link connected to your stabilizer bar. This pretty much controls the tilt, I reckon you could say, of the vehicle. Kind of stabilizes it so you're not, you know, top heavy. You got a ball joint here, you got a ball joint here. This, the way you tell these are bad, you're not supposed to be able to move that like that with your hand. See there? I'm just taking and turning it. That is bad. And that will cause a lot of clunking when you can't kind of mimic it right now, but when you're hitting that dirt road or you're hitting any, you know, rough pavement, that's rattling internally, and you could feel it and you could hear it. Also, when you're dealing with your tie rod in, if you ever do replace it, just the end, you don't ever want to mess with this nut. These are two separate pieces here. This nut is pretty much telling you where you're even at on your alignment, pretty much. This is how you get your alignment done. If you mess with that, your alignment's gonna be all wompy. I mean, I already recommend, far as replacing any front end driving parts like this, any ball joints, any tire rod ends, I always recommend go ahead and get a alignment after the fact, you know, just so you didn't do all that work and now you got brand new tires on and you screwing up your brand new tires, eating them up because they're not, you know, aligned right. But yeah, this stays stationary. Take this off. So put a wrench here, and count your revelations of your turns here. Each time you go around, count them. Just to, you know, keep track of it. You should be good to go because your nut's still stationary, but just in case, to cover your ass. You also got a lower, I don't know if you can see this, you got a lower joint here as well. These usually you could press them in depending on the price of the whole lower control arm. I don't know, I mean, depending on the price would let me know if I need to press these in when I replace them, or just buy the whole control arm. You also got these bushings right here that could possibly go bad. I don't really pay too much mind to this until I, you know, solve these issues first. I want to go ahead and see how it's riding after I replace it. Yeah, a few other things to look out for. Always inspect your struts as well. That I want to say for last, because that's probably the most expensive part when it comes to your tire, to this whole little shebang here. I don't want to pay for them. But as of right now, we're going to focus on, you know, go ahead and order and see. I don't know if you could hear that. You're not supposed to be, see how easy that is to turn? You are not supposed to be able to turn this with your hand. That easy. And you could hear it. Hear that? That's what I'm hearing every time you hit a bump. Another thing you can do is, I'm not sure if this thing's gonna stay put or what. Let's see if it will. Another thing you can do before you take your tire off, and you could possibly do it after, but it's better with your tire still on. You could take your tire 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock position, and you want to do that right there. You want to try to feel for any, if it's moved and it don't make any, you don't have any movement this way, you're good. And also you want to do it at this position as well. On the outside of your tire, take your tire and kind of do that right there. Let me see. What that does is let you know if anything's loose. And in this case, when I took it at this position and wiggled it, it was loose because of these tie rod ends. When I put it at this position, it wasn't loose. Let's see if I can mimic it without the tire on. Kind of feel it, but it's better when you got the tire on. I mean, I've done all this prior to taking it off. That's why I knew there was a problem. To check that lower control arm joint, I don't have my, I tried doing a video earlier and had to redo it because I couldn't find my crowbar. Still couldn't find my crowbar, so I'm gonna see if I could do it just to show y'all where to place the crowbar. When you want to check this, joint right here, you want to take your crowbar, put it under the tire, and move it up and down. And you could also kind of finagle in here. I don't know if I want to do it that way, but it's easier with a crowbar. You got more leverage. And while you're there, you might as well inspect your brake pads and all that. You want to inspect your rotor. When you do this right here, if you feel indentions and it's not smooth, you're putting grooves in it, you better be checking something. If not, these need to be replaced or resurfaced. A lot of these times when you get grooves in your rotors, it's these little clips. If you replace your brake pads and you don't use the factory clips and you use the one that they come with, a lot of times, out of my experience, you get some pieces of crap and they're not an exact fit and they got a lot of play. And what that'll do is, see, like the same thing, what you're seeing here is on the other side, close to this rotor as well. And sometimes those things will get bent or sticking out too far in or too far out. Majority of the time too far in. As you're driving your car, it's grinding on this rotor. It's just grinding on this rotor over time, and it creates grooves in there. So something that's so little, such as that clip right there, can cause you a lot of money for that rotor right there. So I mean, y'all just double check everything, and you should be good. But in this case, I thought it was going to be my struts, but you always want to check the least expensive and the easiest things first when you're dealing with when you're doing things yourself, especially when you don't have the funds to, you know, take it to the shop and waste time. But yeah, I'm gonna be replacing the ball joints. I'm replacing all the ball joints, lower, inner, outer, tie rod links, sway bar links, and